Craig and Phyllis and Patrick to talk a little bit about housing.
Thanks, Virgie and Michael. Incredible presentation. Enjoyed it very much. Craig Patterson, I'm the Senior Vice President for Woda Cooper Companies. We build affordable housing in 17 states. We are based in Columbus, Ohio, and I'm fortunate enough to live in Mackinac City in the Michigan office. And tonight with me is Phyllis Loudermill with HERCO, and she is the champion of the CAP program, which is a MSHDA program. And Phyllis will come up a little later and she will talk about CAP. And then Patrick Olding is with me. And Patrick worked, really, he was the point man on Kennedy Greene, which is a development that is pending on Eaton, North Eaton Avenue or Road, 48 units, affordable housing with rents that will be targeted at the AMI level of 30 to 80% AMI of the local Calhoun County rents. Next slide, please. So you can see the data. It's at 1337 North Eaton. It's a 15.5 million investment, 48 units, 1 through 3 bedrooms. Next slide, please. This will give you an idea. This is the site plan, 2 buildings. These are 2-story walk-ups, and you can see access off of Eaton. Next slide. These are the elevations. Next slide. Combination of vinyl and brick. The architect's rendition. Next slide, please. Right now, we're waiting for MSHDA to announce the funding. We applied on December 1st. It generally takes them up to 90 to 120 days to determine which of the competitors, which of the developers that submitted will be awarded. We think that they're going to announce by the 3rd week in March. And right now, our self-scoring ranks us up at the top of all the other developers in the rural pool, which Albion's in the rural pool. We hope to close on the land and have our financing by December, and this time next year, construction will be underway. With March of 26, we'll be putting tenants in the new buildings. Next slide. Phyllis.
Can I go over here? Is that okay?
Sure.
I've been standing all day. I've been buying basketball shoes. Muskegon Heights won their game, and so we got a call that there was a need, and we filled it. You know, one thing about being older in the room, you tend to have conversations for a long time. So we become friends, and so I always try to ask for permission as to where I should go with certain conversations when we're in the room. Because I think that when we look at where we are and the trades and all the job opportunities that's available to us, there's tons of reasons why there are a gap in those areas. And so some of those is diversity inclusion, some of those are training, some of those are skill sets in schools, lots of things. But you know, much is given and much is required. So that means that if we did a lot, maybe that was not enough. If we did nothing, that was really not enough. And so at the end of the day, just doing, it means that we do together. And if we do that, then things will work. So I was a CAP graduate. So if you look at me and she said, how many of us are girls? And everybody stood up and said, how many like girls? And I'm gonna say, how many like older girls? So now at 65, it is a great thing. And so Woda, I've known this company almost over 10 years. I didn't get there overnight. It took a lot of time, learning, trusting, and growing together. So if you look at all the assessment we did over the years about what was the gap and who we're going to put to work and who's not reading and who's not participating, and how are you going to buy a house if you can't afford to buy milk? How do you choose what trade you go into? How do you get rid of those barriers, like the guy that was incarcerated that can't find a house, or I can't get to work because I don't have my license, or it just goes on and on and on and on. I have a partner in the room, and I think he's native here, and that's Mr. Mark Smith. So we go from one age to the other, and we learn from one another. I'm the older, and they're the younger. What I found is that the CAP program was the program that I knew that we had to be a part of. We worked hard to pull the pieces together. I brought a group of communities together because you can't do this by yourself. We sat down, we talked about it, like how to write this grant. Because one thing about getting seasoned, you don't want to waste your time. And all money is not good money, and all opportunity is not the best. So I knew that this would be the time in history where we really could make a change. The governor, MSHDA, put together an opportunity, and we applied for it. So it's HERCO, my company, and Detroit Training Center out of Detroit. We became a partner, and then I realized we needed someone bigger than us. We needed a Woda, someone that can teach us about developing and give us that opportunity to be at the table where places we would not go. And then I realized after all the things we needed, if you do the math from 25, I went a little further. I subtracted 25 from 18, I got 11. So then we started doing what? Creating parent universities. Then I realized I can't send the parent to work if you don't teach kids how to go to work. So we partner with high schools, elementary schools. So one of our partners, Muskegon Heights, the other one is Muskegon. And then I realized Job Corps. In our schools, everybody did not go and do what they should have done in school. And everything that we've labeled is not necessarily not a good student, right? So we put those young people and those kids that don't want to go to college, they can go to Job Corps. Those kids that want to go to college can learn about being a business owner. So this CAP program encompasses everything from getting your builder's license, for real estate, skilled trades, soft skills, fair housing. We tried to put everything we could imagine in this, it's a pocket of toolbox to recreate the world that we just got through talking about. One gentleman says, I want to do a business, but where do I find them? Someone says, well, we got to create something else. And then the other number is, why is it low here? Then you need a BA. We need all of those things. But in order for CAP to be successful, we're going to need all of you too as well. So you have what Michigan Works, we just partnered with you. The LED program for housing. We're going to do this all over the state, and I want you to extend that to all your other friends, all your other communities, all your other churches, because it has to go from the grassroots to the top. You can't miss anybody, because we cannot keep assuming that people need blue socks and they may need red. We have to really bring them into the room to have a real conversation about what is keeping you from being part of what we're doing every day. And then when they walk into the room, we have to have an open heart and an open spirit and mind to listen and try to understand. And then once we bring that together, I think CAP is going to be an awesome opportunity. I am very grateful to be in Albion, but more than anything, I am grateful for my partners to give me the opportunity to do the things I'm doing. And I'm even more grateful to Michigan, our governor, Whitmer. This is a brain conception of saying, hey, I realize there's a gap. How do we fix it? They need housing, they need jobs, and the need is so great that it took her and the MSHDA team to sit down like we just did today, went on the whiteboard and say, hey, what are we going to do? We're going to do a CAP program. And that's what it is. And I'm hoping that those of you that are in this room will partner with us. It's not if they will announce. I'm going to put it in the universe that they are going to announce. And if and when we do, because we are coming to work here, we want to work with this community. We want young people to come to work on those jobs. So when we start training, we want them to come train. You have to have training to do what you need to do. So I think this training for CAP went across the board for everything, for skilled trades. And just say that you want to be a business owner. You can actually get your builder's license. So I'm going to say this. Let's put on our socks. Don't put your shoes on too tight, because I'm going to kick them off. And I tell you something about what we're doing tonight. Some of those young people and adults would have been here, but there's a couple schools, Muskegon and other schools around us, even in Grand Rapids, they're now working for their titles. So I'm here with the guys over there. But I have a great team, and we have people that are already ready to work. And we work with the unions as well. So my union is 1191 Laborers, and they're the carpenters, and they're there at Job Corps. And so we want to fill that gap with all those trades. And the reason why, because people want to go home. They want to retire. But don't we want the best when we go home? Because we're going to have to retire too as well. So I hope that you would stop over to see me. I hope that you would give me a chance to come and sit with you again, to have a more in-depth conversation. And look forward to us coming to this community. And then I'm going to take you on the other side, of the east side and the west side, because every one of us need one another. So thank you again for giving us this opportunity. And again, my name is Phyllis Loudermill. And if you would like to find me, it's hercompany2@yahoo.com. Phone number is 616-828-6750. Warning, if you do not find me, I will find you. I'll be knocking on that door and ask you, how can we work together to change our communities? Any questions?
Next slide. Phyllis, you might want to say something on the next slide.
It was cold that day. Very cold. We were in Traverse City. So, interesting when you go up north in different areas, right? And so I'm a journaler. And I write at night to collect not only my thoughts, but to remind me if I made an A, B, or C in my life, in my walk that day. And that's how I keep myself on point. I always want to be an A, but just I might got a D because I said something I shouldn't say, or I did something whatever. But this day was the most interesting day. So if you picture this project that we're on, we're looking at section 3. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. We're looking at how to create employment around certain populations, right? So we're walking, and this is Scott, and he's educating me about things I don't know, and I learned a lot. I learned about, the electrical pod, why I was going to move over there, going into the room and watching the drywall. I'm learning so much that my eyes are opening, because I've been there a long time. I thought I knew everything. I don't know nothing. But this whole idea of just being in this community was amazing. And then we went to the city, and there was a conversation had about, did we need housing? Was there any problems in our city? Well, if you look at Traverse City, you never thought there would be anything like that there, because it's a very prevalent city. People there, they retire there. Yes, they have some of the same social ills as everybody do. So we say no what left behind? There was no city left behind. So when you talk about the CAP program and the WODAs and things we're doing, it's going to allow us to probably be so impregnated in other communities, like a Traverse City, that you probably would not think you see housing such as that. but it's going to be everywhere. And the job development, the need was there as well. So I got to be very fortunate, be the girl to go over with them. To put on, I got my official jacket that day too, by the way. It looks kind of cool in yellow, huh? Next time I'm going to do it and put pink on it. But I got my official jacket, but it goes back to all the things that Woda made CAP work. CAP can work based on the training and the need. But at the end of the day, if we don't do diversity inclusion, which we are, which is a part of this as well, we partner with Muskegon Community College, so KCC, we come to see you, and the other schools as well. But if we don't add that as a piece of the pie, so when we have those real conversations about why we can't get hired, you gotta have it. And then we gotta get outside of ourselves, because all of us have isms about what we believe. So this project, I think we're waiting for that announcement as well.
Yep.
And I'm gonna put it in the universe, so we're gonna get that announcement as well. And then we're gonna get it because the things we are gonna do to make this work, so that when Michigan Works has another job fair, and Upjohn is talking about, you know, your theories of what you're doing, and then the person in back is talking about putting a company together, and then Mark is in his community because he lives here and he want to build housing. All of this stands on the heads of these type of opportunities. So we're going to build more and more and more, and then hopefully you might want to do one, but if you do, give Woda a call or give HERCO a call. We'll come join in with you, because the more we build this together, the better off we're going to be. And Michigan Works, you are our best friend. And we have done a lot of different changes over the years. You know, Michigan Talent. You know, I was back when President Obama gave the largest gift to Detroit. We trained a lot of people. But the question is, where are they at now? We don't want another repeat. And I think that the CAP program and all of the partners at the table who've gone through these episodes at one point enough for training, I think we finally get it. I think we finally get that we need each other, and we're going to bring all the resources and skills that we have to the table, open our toolbox, and we're going to share.
Any questions? Last slide as we leave. We're not going to talk about it, but it's kind of a summary. Okay. Thank you all.